I've talked about Andrew Tate before, a couple different times, and I'm genuinely hoping that this will be one of the last that I'm doing so, at least for a while. But right now I'm playing catch up on news and current events and stuff, so I wanted to tackle Vice News's documentary piece, The Dangerous Rise of Andrew Tate.
Do you ever wonder why some people who you've never heard of before all of a sudden appear everywhere?
Yes, there's a reason for this. That we're 9 seconds in and I'm already pausing. Great. So there's a reason for this. Because of how how different the internet is with all of the kind of niches that it caters to and stuff like that, it is very, very possible to find people in corners that you never even knew, people you've never even heard of, that say maybe on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, something, they have like millions or at least hundreds of thousands of subs, more than likely even millions of people that are following them, that are, consuming their content in some way or another. They're like really huge in their spaces, but they're not huge outside of that. And it doesn't take much to kind of move from being huge in a certain space to being huge in general. And as we're going to get into with Andrew, it was all kind of manufactured, but we'll get to it.
Andrew Tate! Andrew Tate is an Anglo-American kickboxer turned influencer whose extreme misogynist videos have helped make him the most...
Wait, Tate Confidential, is that even still a thing? No way. No way. Doesn't look like it.
Viral man in the world.
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch!
On December 29th, he and his brother were arrested by Romanian police as part of a rape and human trafficking investigation.
To the surprise of nobody.
Matrix has attacked me.
A few months before...
So that line right there, the whole the Matrix has attacked me thing, the Matrix has been a concept that is being used by... Really, it's just like a lot of shitty people's go-to right now if they get caught doing some shitty thing. Logan Paul had his thing recently where he was caught doing some kind of cryptocurrency scam type of thing. I don't remember the specifics, but he tweeted how, the Matrix is real. Sneeko talks about the Matrix. I think Aiden Ross has talked about the Matrix, but Aiden Ross is so like in bed with Andrew Tate that it wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure he and Sneeko both have really picked up on that lingo from Tate in the first place. So take that as you will.
Before their arrest, I was in Romania trying to get access to their so-called secret society.
But basically it means, of course, that the world is against me, the system's rigged, that's why I'm getting locked up, that's why I'm getting arrested, that's why I'm having these issues. It's not because of, I'm facing consequences for my actions, it's because of this, that, and the third. It's because the system's out to get me.
The War Room.
The War Room is the most powerful network on the face of the planet today.
Andrew Tate!
To get inside, I had agreed to endure a professional cage fight in Romania.
I know he's gonna lose, but wow, he's actually in there.
Along with 100 Tate superfans.
We shouldn't be slaves, we shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs.
I need to get better, I need to evolve.
That part, wait, I need to evolve, okay. That's gonna need to be bold. But that part, by the way, we shouldn't be working 9 to 5, based.
I'm not tough on myself. Nobody else will be. That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
This chain you hold on to.
What I found out.
My plan was to
So something I have to point out about Andrew Tate here, and there are a bunch of people like him that have pushed these, of course, a lot of what makes him really popular and problematic and everything is not just his scamming, but the advice that he gives, how detrimental it is to actual relationships that men have with women and even with themselves. the misogyny that he pushes, and all of this extremely toxic bullshit. But the thing is, all of these people here, so part of his like appeal is that, oh, I'm so rich and I made all this money myself and you can do it too, and you know, all these different things, right? And he pushes these get rich quick schemes and this like, oh, I'm so self-made, all this stuff, you can do it too, all those different things. And there are absolutely things that you can do, and self-improvement is a good thing to strive for in general. And if you want to even have your own business and all that, like, by all means, fine, you know, whatever. But the thing about these kind of people, they will push this narrative of like, oh, you sign up for my course, you do this, you do that, da-da-da-da. I'm going to teach you how to make all this money. The courses, the events, the flying out to these special things where all these people are, the conferences, that's the word, flying out to these conferences and all those different things, that's how these people make their money. Not Tate, but I've known people personally that have bought into these kind of get-rich-quick schemes, essentially. These, oh, I'm going to teach you how to be a millionaire kind of things. And all you got to do is follow my course and go to these events and stuff. I would point this out, and I would point this out to those people, and I'd be like, that's how they're making their money. And they're like, what do you mean? The events, the courses, the conference, that's where they're making their money. They're not making their money off of whatever they're telling you they're doing. They're making their money off of these programs. That's why they're selling them. I'm a big believer that information should be free. And if people aren't making their information free, I mean, they're literally selling you something. But it's probably not going to be what you're actually looking for. Because again, these people, they're, oh, I make all this money by doing, I don't know, trading or whatever, right? No, the courses, all that stuff, that's where they're making their money. Now, just to be clear, I'm not hating on like courses in general. I think things like, oh God, what is that one that like every YouTuber promotes? It's like, oh God, it's the one, it's like you can learn like, oh, Skillshare. So I think like Skillshare, from what I've seen about it, I think Skillshare is decent. I think generally courses where people are trying to teach you a skill of some sort that isn't financial are generally good. But anybody that's putting forth this like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to make money, just buy my courses and go to my expenses conferences and stuff, yeah, that's how they're making their money. They're charlatans. They're modern day snake salesmen. Snake oil salesman.
Hold on to.
What I found out
My plan was to sow anarchy.
is that this recent arrest appears to be just the tip of the iceberg.
This is definitely a hit piece.
I don't care.
The real story
We clearly conquered the internet.
began years ago.
There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate.
Notice that ex-boyfriend. Imagine going into a situation where you're in a healthy, happy relationship. I assume theirs was, probably good, at least to an extent. And then, okay, imagine this from the woman's perspective. Imagine you're in a relationship, or even, not even, just imagine a relationship with someone, right? And they are a certain way, and you maybe you even love them and everything, right? You have a good relationship with them, you're enjoying each other, all that good stuff. And then they start consuming this person's content, or they start just kind of changing a little here and there to the point where you don't even recognize them anymore. And they went from this kind, caring, loving person to this super against you, whatever. I mean, in this case, it's misogyny and stuff. But I mean, whatever it could be, right? And they've just done a 180 on their personality, and everything you loved about them, everything you knew about them has just completely shifted, and they're not even that person anymore. And the irony of oh, Andrew's going to teach me how to be better with women. Yeah, he broke you and your girlfriend up. How did that work for you? You know what I mean? Yeah, listen.
He was sweet and I guess vulnerable to being brainwashed by Andrew Tate and his cult.
People don't know what he's done.
If you haven't heard of Andrew Tate yet, it's only a matter of time before he pops up on your newsfeed. His videos have been viewed over 11 billion times, and in July he was more Googled than Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump. He's been called the king of toxic masculinity.
He has said that rape victims should, quote, bear responsibility for being raped.
We're about to enter his compound in Romania, which was raided earlier this year as part of the rape and human trafficking investigation that led to his arrest in 2022.
I'm going to warn you guys, by the way, there is absolutely going to be some heavy topics that this covers, but I think that's good because, for me at least, I will definitely get to go into a few things like that. Like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to, right off the bat, because I want to, part of me wants to hold it back, but part of me just wants to launch into it right away. Okay, victim blaming and rape culture and all that stuff is... Are we good? Are we... Okay. Victim blaming and rape culture and all that stuff is super... I'm trying to keep it a little lighthearted and just call it cringe. I might get actually angry while going through this documentary, but the notion that because a woman dresses or acts a certain way, she's asking for it is extremely gross. If a woman is asking for it, she's going to be all over you, kissing you, touching you everywhere, begging for you. That's when she's literally asking for it. If she's wearing like a tight, short dress, walking around the streets, maybe on her way to a club, maybe in a club, you know, all these different things. If she's drinking, if she's like at a party in general, if she's doing anything, that's not asking for it. That's living her life as a human being. And you need to, you know, have control over yourself and not think that women are like, you know, an object. You know, I have nothing against, this is a take that I will definitely elaborate on in the future, but I have nothing against the idea with, you know, viewing women as sexual creatures. I think that that's generally a good thing, and I think that men should be viewed as sexual creatures as well, and everybody, like most people, like unless they are, you know, ace or something, most people are sexual creatures. They have, you know, autonomy, they desire, you know, some kind of physical connection, and normally a romantic one as well. But in any case, the reality is there is a difference between acknowledging that somebody is attractive, maybe trying to hit on them, maybe trying to date them, maybe trying to hook up with them, maybe even if it's just a one-night stand or what have you, you know, any of that, right? There's a difference between doing that and trying to pursue that kind of relationship with somebody while still respecting their autonomy, their boundaries, all that good stuff. There's a difference between that and straight up just actually objectifying these women and being like, oh, they're asking for it. They don't really have a choice. It's disgusting. It's infantilizing. It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
Is that true that you sequestered an American girl?
She's not even pretty. This girl's average. She's ugly. I don't have time for this bullshit.
All right, real quick. Jesus, I'm going to be pausing this and going through. Like, just that little thing right there where he said, oh, she's not even pretty. So that's something that people will fall back on a lot, where they'll say, like, oh, of course I would. I didn't assault. Why would I assault her? She's not even attractive. The reality is, a lot of times that assault happens, so women who are assaulted, it isn't just, first of all, it's a crime of power. It's not a crime of sexual attraction, right? People don't just assault those because they're attracted to them and they think they can't be with them otherwise. They assault them because, well, they're pieces of shit. But people, the idea of like, okay, the idea of basically like, oh, she wasn't hot enough to be assaulted is really gross and just not true. The reality is people who are assaulted are vulnerable. Their attractiveness doesn't have anything to do with them, with the likelihood of them being assaulted. What has to do with the likelihood of them being assaulted is the people that they are around, and not even really just that, to an extent, it kind of comes down to luck on her part. That is to say that, like, are there things that people can do and that they should learn, really regardless of gender, to avoid bad situations, whether that be assault or something else? Yes, absolutely. Should they have to? No. But of course, we live in the world that is, not the world that we would like it to be. We have to acknowledge that and move forward accordingly. But while it is true that there are things you can do and say to kind of help, protect potential victims, so to speak, it's also true that at the end of the day, yeah, a lot of men really just need to learn to not rape women. Like that really is what a lot of it comes down to, which is why I say it is so important to teach how not to. And what I'm talking about with that is, how to properly get consent, how to flirt, how to escalate, how to do all those different things. And that's why I try to focus on these kind of things too. Right now, we're focusing more on the dangers that Andrew Tate did broadly, and especially to women, the people that followed him, how it affected women, relationships, as we saw briefly there, and all that stuff. But there's a reason that I try to address really just issues in general, men's issues, women's issues, all that stuff. Everybody's, I don't know. I just want to make the world a better place. But anyway, but anyway, no, that notion of like, oh, like, why would anyone assault her? She's not hot enough. Like, that's just bullshit. It comes down to vulnerability, not attractiveness.
What about the rape accusation?
That's not true at all.
Which, real quick, is the same way as any other robbery, right? You can say, oh, well, here's the Mercedes or Bugatti that's, out here in a parking lot. Maybe it's in a bad part of town, but if a car that's kind of in that area or is unlocked and different things like that, that is just as likely to be assaulted in this manner, a crime to be committed, than one that, it doesn't really matter necessarily the type of car that's there. So what I mean to say is, like, if you have a Bugatti, and then you have a 99 Volkswagen, we'll say, right? You have both of those, like, right next to each other, right? If the 99 Volkswagen is unlocked, unguarded, all that good stuff, and the Bugatti is locked, and you would have to take more effort to break in, the Bugatti is not going to be the one that is broken into. It's going to be the one that is unlocked. It's about vulnerability, not attractiveness. It's the same way with women and with everything else, like all of it.
Hello, is this Andrew Tate's house? I'm Matt.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
What does shirt say? No gun, no gun, no fun. Oh my god.
To have a confirmation from Mr. Tate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you just let me know when we're allowed.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is that his girlfriend, maybe? No, probably some, like, secretary or something to be like, all right, this way.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you.
This place is giant.
Yeah, I can give you a quick tour. I can't show you a lot of it. A lot of it's like off limits, but I can show you some of it. Gee, come bite them. Show them how scary you are.
Is this the normal level of security you have for your house every day, or is this just for us?
This is the normal level of security I have in my house every day. I'm prepared.
It's just two people.
Prepared for all eventualities.
It's two people. Not really prepared for all eventualities, but all right.
To be paranoid. I kind of like cars.
I can tell, yeah.
This door leads to... I can't take you in there. That's classified.
Up on there, I can't take you in there either. It's classified.
By the way, I want to be clear about something real quick. There's nothing wrong with, which should be obvious, but there's nothing wrong with, say, like, him dressing this certain way, or him presenting this certain way, or him liking cars, or having a big house, or any of that. None of that is the problem. I know some people look at that stuff and they'll be like, well, see, those are the kind of things that, like, he aesthetically presents as this like archetype that a lot of men find themselves wanting to be, but he's really not, and we'll get to that. I'm sorry, I know I'm pausing so much, but if you're familiar with my content, you probably know that I quite literally do have a lot to say about many things, and I'll do that every couple seconds with this shit.
Classified. You do know if you go to any off-limit areas like security, you're going to intercept. So when I point classified, I'm basically saying don't make them put a gun in your face.
But I do, but I will say, as far as like aesthetic and all that stuff goes, this is way too low to have your shirt unbuttoned. It just is. Like this isn't even like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm trying to be like, you know. I have mine unbuttoned. Like, would it be this one? No, I think that would probably be it's like basically I have it like a deep V, essentially. But this is like one button below. So like I think I wear like 3 buttons above him, like probably there or there. I don't know, something like that. But like I said, like a deep V essentially. You've probably seen it in other videos that I've done. But yeah, but this right here, this is way too much. Like even to here would be kind of like, all right, dude. But like here is like what the hell, you know? This is almost like oh, there's a word for this, but it's not really relevant, so I'm not going to worry about it. But there's like a superhero costume, V Slimline, that's what it's called, where you'll have like some like female superheroes that'll have that kind of style where it just like goes down right to their suit, and then like there's just bare chest here.
Got it.
TV, which I never watch. World title belts.
Which, by the way, I do think men should be able to dress in a way that is very sexually evocative and provocative, as women are encouraged to do. I think that if men, women, or anybody else want to dress that way, they should absolutely be able to. And I think it should be encouraged because it's a good thing for people, adults, to be able to express themselves and be viewed sexually if they want to be.
I was 4-time kickboxing world champion.
And what's this painting over here?
That's my brother.
Who else lives here? Is it just you?
All right, I got to point this out.
Boxing world champion.
And what's this painting over here?
I think we're going to see him later too. I think that Tristan should have, his brother Tristan Tate should have been like the front man for all this. I think that Tristan looks better. I think that he, I think he has more like presence and stuff. But I think Andrew, I guess, he's smarter from what I can tell. I guess Andrew just has more of the charisma and the stage presence, as it were.
That's my brother.
Who else lives here? Is it just you?
No, I live here with my brother. I think you get the best version of yourself if you live with other competitive men. I don't have loser friends. I like sitting down with people and discussing how we can make money from the conflict in Ukraine. That's what I enjoy. I don't want to talk about TV.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Hi, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. I'm Matt.
Georgia.
Georgia, good to meet you. What are you up to, Georgia?
Working.
Okay.
This is,
The woman I'm trying to speak to, Georgiana Noghill, would also later be arrested with Tate in December.
Georgiana, 2 coffees, please.
Accused of assisting him in his human trafficking operation.
Oh, that's his girlfriend. Okay.
Hey, how's it going? Hi. Hey, how are you? What are these guys up to?
Conquering the world, my friend.
Through what means?
I run Hustlers University, which is now currently the biggest online educational platform in the world. We've grown extremely fast. We have 110,000 students inside of a year.
Hustlers University. Hustlers University. Hustlers University.
For $49 a month, Andrew Tate's online Hustlers University promises to teach his millions of followers the secrets of modern wealth creation, from crypto trading to dropshipping.
No big deal, just the biggest online school in history.
Is this a sharp sword or is it kind of a decorative sword?
I did a Tate speech about why I have this sword. A Tate speech is like my YouTube channel, Tate Speech.
Yeah.
And I talked about how the number one...
Wait, he's only got one button. He literally only has one button done. He didn't even do the rest. Okay, hang on a minute. I have to see. Tate speech? Is that a thing? Wait, where's... What is this? Oh, Jesus. Okay, probably gonna have to cover whatever that's about later, too. Jesus. okay, I wanted to point out, because you heard that section there where he said, make me 2 coffees. This is one of my favorite videos, and I don't actually have it saved in my favorites, do I? Okay. This is one of my favorite videos because this right here tells you like everything you need to know about Andrew Tate right off the bat. Like, just, this is it right here.
How am I going to let okay, yes, you're beautiful, young lady. Of course, you're a very gorgeous woman. But I'm the big G. What, you're not going to clean my house?
Yeah. Right. So I am a dumb bitch. How can I not be so stupid and keep my husband? I want to keep him happy. And I think all the women listening too, they want to know the secrets.
Yeah, of course, women famously listen to Andrew Tate and other red pill manosphere people like him.
I'll tell you the secrets.
Yeah, I'm writing them down.
I'll tell you the secrets. Oh yeah,
let
me tell you the secrets.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got on this podcast, but you can tell that if you can't tell, I should say, the wife here and the husband are just joking and playing along with this.
Go ahead. I'm taking notes.
I don't think most women understand what men are looking for in general from life.
Okay.
And it is not just relationships, it's in general from life. I think, and when I say think, I mean I know, that men are biologically designed, we're evolutionarily hardwired to seek status. That's what we want. Men talk about wanting money. You don't want money, you want power. You want power, you want status, you want the fast car. You don't care about the car. You want everyone to know you have the car and they can't have the car. Right. If everyone had a Lambo, you wouldn't want a Lambo.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we want status. So every single thing we do is status driven to some degree.
It's true.
Meaning the female we are with has to add status to our lives in some form. That's why we like beautiful women, right?
Right.
But a beautiful woman who doesn't behave and doesn't obey isn't really much status.
Yep.
So when we're looking for status, we want a beautiful woman who is compliant because it's unique and it's scarcity that provides value. Right. So if you want to keep your man happy, you need to think, how do I make my man look better to the world? How do I make him look better in front of other men? You know,
this is the worst. Oh my, okay. Yeah. So this reason, this whole thing right here, this is why to me, this is like everything you even need to know about Andrew Tate in general, because this whole notion of like the purpose of life as a man is to live in such a way that so that other men view you as excuse me, as having status and approve of you. Like that's his reason that he thinks to live as a man. And I love it because, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having or wanting nice cars. There's nothing wrong with having or wanting an attractive partner. I very much want that. I don't really care so much for cars, but I really like women, like a lot. That's why I'm trying to, level up myself and get better with, dating and all that good stuff. But I'll tell you right now, it's not for status. I want a nice car, and most people, I would say, want a nice car because they want something that's going to get them from point A to point B and also looks nice and runs well and they're comfortable with and all that good stuff, right? Most people want an attractive partner, not just because it looks good to the outside world. I mean, I guess that's part of it. But I don't know about you. I'll just speak for myself here. I want a hot girlfriend, maybe eventually wife, I don't know, but a hot partner because I like women. I like women who I find attractive. And I want a partner that I find attractive and vibe with and all that good stuff, right? Those are the reasons that I want these things. And those are the reasons why most people that even get suckered into this stuff want these things. So when you have the person that is your guru, your like guide for all of this shit, telling you just up front, he doesn't even enjoy women. He doesn't enjoy sex. He doesn't enjoy any of the things. He doesn't enjoy food. He doesn't enjoy life. Why the fuck would you want to listen to this guy? Well, this is like listening to like somebody who this is like if you want to get into like, I don't know, Major League Gaming or something or sports or something, and you listen to somebody who doesn't even enjoy what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to take advice from someone that doesn't even enjoy what they're doing? If you, whatever kind of lifestyle and relationship you want to have, if you want to be monogamous, non-monogamous, single, if you're ace, you don't care about, or you're aro, or you're aro ace, you don't care about relationships at all, or sex, or whatever, like, all of that is fine. That's great. Wherever you are on any of that, there's nothing wrong with, wherever you fall on any of that. But if you're going to listen to somebody who's going to give you advice on this kind of thing, why the hell would you do it with somebody who doesn't even enjoy what they're teaching you to do, for lack of a better word? Like, it blows my mind. It really blows my mind.
What if I were to just make him 2 coffees and shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
He's going to look like the big G, and he's going to be in love with me. That's what you have to do as a woman.
Well, let me just stop you real quick and say something. You got a lot of work to do.
Me?
Yeah.
I brought you 2 coffees this morning because you were coming in, and I said, Tommy, here's your 2 coffees. I did.
I'm just saying, he made a lot of sense. And
what do you fucking...
I'm just saying, keep taking notes. Don't even talk to me.
Jesus. Again, obviously this is a joke, but like, this is essentially what Andrew fosters in people that actually listen to him and take him seriously. Yeah, this notion of like, oh, my wife makes me, or my girlfriend, whatever, my partner makes me 2 cups of coffee. Like, and I don't even drink the one of them. Why? Like, what? Being wasteful is like cool, and like it doesn't make sense, I don't enjoy any of the things that I do. Like, what the it's wild to me. It really is.
Take a note.
So give me some examples of how I can increase my status, therefore increasing his status. You mentioned the 2 coffees. Now, why do you request that? Let's go through the logic of that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Because it's a basic respect thing, right? And compliance is something which is going to increase the status of your man in front of other people.
Right.
And truthfully, it's not really a very big ask. The fact that it's basically pointless is the whole point of it. I drink one, I don't drink the other one. It's just a respect thing. It's doing something which is basically pointless to show you have respect for me. And that's not me being insecure or crazy or whatever. I have a lot of jobs as a man, and I make sure I fulfill my side of the duty fantastically. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I'm going to take care of us financially, etc., etc. So if I do my side of the bargain, I want your side of the bargain, which is I want to feel respected in the household.
Yeah, it's not about the enjoyment. It's the principle. It's fucking wild. Oh, dude, I saw this and I legit thought this was a chick for a minute. Because, like, what dude had... Okay, I think if dudes want to dress like this, they should absolutely be able to. I think dudes should be able to wear crop tops and fucking, like, really tight short shorts and dresses and whatever the fuck they want, and not necessarily be assumed that, like, they're gay or something. Because, hey, if they are, cool. But if they aren't, I don't think that should be assumed. But yeah, it's such a now at least it's very much understood as a feminine way to dress.
The problem with the world is that not enough men walk around their houses with swords.
Mm-hmm. That's up there for sure.
Because if more men walked around their houses with swords, so many of the world's issues could be fixed. But you have to extrapolate it.
Okay.
For example, so the woman panics, she sees something on TV, the man comes home, she's like, oh, we gotta start wearing a mask, da-da-da. If the man walked around with a sword, and she's like, put a mask on.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is just, can I ask,
extrapolate.
Let me find it.
Okay.
What is the appeal of this? Like, because this isn't his girlfriend, this isn't someone he, like, actually, like, okay, let me try to, I understand, and to an extent desire myself, the concept of having, like, a bunch of women that you have, relationship with, the, harem, if you will. I understand that. I've looked into and have entertained the idea of pursuing open relationships with partners where, I guess I have, like, a harem for myself and she has kind of a harem for her, and we, like, share, and I don't know, whatever, right? Just some kind of, like, fun, open, like, relationship thing. Basically, though, I would want, like, romantically monogamous, sexually open, or romantically exclusive, sexually open, something like that. But, whatever relationship you want and whatever you and your partner, like, decide and stuff, like, that's whatever. But this isn't, I mean, it probably is someone that he's assaulted or someone, but, like, it's they're not. The problem is he doesn't view these women he doesn't view or treat these women as people, and I never understood this concept of oh, I want hot women around the house to just do random shit from it. I don't get it. If you want basically what I'm describing, trying to get at is essentially multiple friends with benefits, but we're all friends, we all know each other, and sex is just part of our relationship, but we're friends first, essentially. If you want something like that, whatever, that's fine. But I never understood this idea of oh, let me just have hot women around doing menial stuff just because. I get it for him. It's about the principle, but I don't know. It's just. It's so try hard. It's so I want the aesthetic. I want the aesthetic of being a powerful, attractive man, but I'm not actually I don't know. It's wild to me.
For example, so the woman panics, she sees something on TV, the man comes home, she's like, oh, we gotta start wearing a mask, da-da-da. If the man walked around with a sword, and she's like, put a mask on, he'd be like, I'm brave, I don't need a mask, I'm a commander. Fuck you. It's just a symbol.
If you're holding a sword, this man is a fucking child. This is what I'm talking about with the aesthetic and stuff. This man is a child. When I was a kid, I used to put on a cape, run around the house, and call myself super Christian, but I was 6. This man's 36. This is he's a child.
Empowerment. You got your sword, your wife starts talking, you're like, shut up, I decide what I do. Be quiet. Cook.
Andrew's unashamed, misogynistic, and violent views so far seem to match his YouTube persona. But to find out how he's translated those into viral fame, I accept an invite onto the Tate Brothers podcast, Emergency Meeting, which is also a chance to get acquainted with his brother Tristan.
Welcome to Emergency Meeting, episode 13. We have a special guest, Matt Shea, who is internationally renowned.
I'm guessing Tate's speech has been removed or something because I couldn't find it online on YouTube here, and yet apparently it was actually a thing. I don't know.
Respected. He's a folk singer, and he's going to sing us a song.
Andrew's invited his mate on our show without my consent. I'm just going to have to bite my tongue and listen to you guys talk most of this emergency meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to walk off.
Yeah, I really do think Tristan's the better looking one. He's the smarter one. Yeah.
Matt, can you introduce yourself? Tell them about your singing career. Tell them where you're from, etc.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a folk singer.
I'm sorry. We just have to just real quick. If you were to look at these two, and you were to tell me, oh, this is the guy that's teaching men to out of these two, which of these guys do you think is, or out of these three even, which of these guys do you think is teaching other men to be more attractive, to get laid, to get dates, to find relationships, all that stuff, right? You would probably think him first, and you might even think him. Andrew's gonna be the last one. Oh, it's the dude wearing the shades in the bathrobe, kind of hunched over a little bit. Really? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Singer at all in
What?
the slightest. No, sorry.
What?
Are you calling my brother a liar?
You lied to me.
I'm calling you a truther.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the clown that hides from gay people?
Have you telling you, fucking schoolyard bullies, children.
No, I haven't seen the clown that hides the gay
So
people.
you've never seen him?
No. Is he here somewhere?
Strange. Well, yeah, he's right here. I see him.
I see him.
All right, let's be nice to our...
All right, I have to point something out here. I think it is absolutely wild that we have seen in the last 5 or so years, the type of people that are running the world are schoolyard bullies. They really are. They're just and honestly, I should have seen this and been prepared for this kind of thing because, oh, okay, I'll deal with that later. I had real quick. I'm sorry. I have an extension to sort bookmarks randomly, and it's normally how I view what is it called? How I find new comics to read and stuff. And anyway, or not new ones, but yeah, anyway. Let me find. This one So when I was growing up, I was a huge fan, and still am a huge fan, of Dr. Eggman from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Stay with me here. One of the things that Eggman is famous for, and I'm trying to find examples of this so I can better show you here. I put branding, but I'm thinking like logo. How can I find? Here, let's do the egg carrier. Okay, here we go. So like, wait, what? Oh yeah, that is called the Egg Robo, isn't it? We'll use it. All right, we'll use these as examples. Okay. Eggman has this whole thing in his entire like everything about he's a narcissist. He makes everything about himself. He uses this logo here, this one here, on everything. This is like this is his ship with his branding. It's called the Egg Carrier. He designs robots after him. Now, granted, this is like a giant mech that he actually like piloted, but in general, I want to find the. Come on, what are they called? I thought they were called Egg Robot. Oh, here we are. Okay. He makes like his robots look like him. You know, you can see the resemblance here with his style. That all these different things, right? He is this like super narcissistic, egotistical, character, and yet he is this super, maniacal, conniving, evil character who, a lot of times, Sonic and friends, kind of take the piss out of him. His name Eggman, originally, at least in the American version of Sonic, Western in general, I guess you could say, the term Eggman started as a insult that Sonic would refer to him, where he'd call him Eggman and he'd be like, "Silence, I'm Dr. Robotnik," to which because he was called Dr. Robotnik in the American universe. He was always Eggman in Japan, but he was Dr. Robotnik, and of course Sonic would respond with just like, "Whatever you say, Eggman," and eventually he adopted it. And he just like made it his thing. And the funny thing is, he was this like super like egotistical person and all this stuff. And yet he was and is in the games and such and the comics and everything else very formidable as an enemy. And let's see here. There was a great video about this done. Sonic Theory, is Donald Trump the real Dr. Oh, this might have been the one. Is Donald Trump Dr. Eggman? This might have been the one. Yeah, that might have been the one. I think that was the one. Basically, they compare this person, and they did a really good job where they combined, they compared Eggman to Donald Trump, and basically used all this stuff to show that. Yeah, he's like this raging narcissist and all these different things. He has all this like iconography and stuff that's basically like, built after him to resemble him, all this stuff, very much like Trump does. And what's funny, it's wild to me that we are seeing people like, Trump became president. We have Andrew Tate. We have these like schoolyard bullies, these unironically Eggman tier, goofy people actually like ruling the world in some way, and it's wild. It really is.
Our vice friend. So let me be nice to him before he does a hit piece.
This is definitely a hit piece. I've warned my brother that this is a setup, and this is what everyone.
I don't care. I'm uninterested. I've clearly conquered the internet. I'm clearly unstoppable. I'm like the Borg.
You've invited the liberal news media to come.
They can all come. Just because I'm wearing a gun, I'm violent. Is that how it is? Just because I got knives all over the.
Is he wearing what?
Table. Just because I'm wearing a gun.
Dude, come on. Seriously, like the dude. This is how he like. Fuck. All right.
I'm violent. Is that how it is? Just because I got knives all over the table and I'm a kickboxing world champion, I'm violent.
If you are wearing a gun and you have knives, that does make you a little bit violent.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Makes me security aware.
I don't want to sing a song.
I haven't
Sing
said
like you
anything.
promised.
It's a
You
setup.
think I won't kick Vice out of my house. I think.
A few more minutes, or are we done with it?
No. You can sing now, or you're off the pod.
During an ad break, Andrew breaks character.
30-second break. Chat shit. Another 5 minutes, and we'll get you out of here. You can talk shit back. You can annoy us if you want.
Don't worry, no, I know. I'm just not very good at it. I'm not very good at talking shit.
We've had a long career. We have to do our normal broadcasting.
Okay.
Kick him off the pod. Cool, man. Have fun, guys. Yeah.
Bro, this is going to be the worst documentary about us.
What they gonna say?
I don't know.
He has lots of cars and money. All the women love him. He's sexist. Oh no, please don't put that on the internet. Who cares? Right? Whatever.
Within minutes of being on their show, the Tate content machine snaps into action. Oh, yeah. Wow. Already.
You promised to sing to me. If you think I won't kick Vice out of my house, you can sing now or you're off the pod.
Tate brothers embarrass Vice reporter.
Actually, I take that back. I want to make sure that my army's fighting, ethically and following the
18,000 likes, 246 comments, 66 reshares. Oh, I accidentally liked it.
If you had to go to war, would you call your friends?
Let's see what people are saying.
I was going to do the same thing, but he's already doing it.
Tate win, as always. I'm impressed how easily he runs over weak men's arguments. It isn't Tate posting all these videos, so who are all these people? Tate Brothers Embarrassed Vice Reporter was posted by a fan account that has 58,000 followers and 3.9 million likes, and is just posting loads of videos every single day. Right in the description of his account, it says, looking to level up your life, start here. It's a sign-up link to the Hustlers University. Another account, and again, a link to the Hustlers University. He's got a clever formula here. It turns out a big part of Hustlers University is an affiliate marketing scheme where boys as young as 13 are instructed to share controversial videos of Andrew with links to the Hustlers University underneath. If someone signs up through your link, you get 48% of their subscription fee. By financially incentivizing 110,000 students to share his content online, Andrew has essentially built an army to make him rich and famous in a very short space of time. And
Hassan covered this a long time ago. He did a debate, you could say, with it was a debate. He did a debate with Tate, the Tate debate. I made Andrew Tate run away in a debate. He did a debate, and through the whole thing, he brought up the situation with how it's a pyramid scheme. The Hustlers University thing is, at least allegedly, it seems to be a pyramid scheme. I won't say that it full on is, especially for legal reasons, but yeah.
He's tactically avoiding the impact of social media bans because it isn't Andrew himself posting, it's his legion of fans.
All I'm doing is saying that the shit that everyone thinks isn't allowed to say. So that's the reason I'm all big on the internet.
I'm starting to wonder whether he's just a living meme.
You're a loser because your mentality is loserish.
He is. Just like Trump. And just like fictional dictator egomaniacal characters like Eggman.
Some kind of viral marketing campaign to swindle money from confused young men.
You never had the life I had, ever.
Or if he really believes what he said.
I'm sorry, hold up.
Young men.
You never had the life I had, ever.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You see this walking down the street, I'm thinking this is some dude who's gonna be flashing people. Like, come on, dude.
Or if he really believes what he says.
All I am offering is the truth.
The Matrix. Oh my god, that's why he wore it? He's trying to be fucking, oh my god, what's his name? Morpheus, I think? Yeah.
Andrew first appeared on our screen.
It's been a long time since I've seen The Matrix.
As a reality TV star.
I've never been in a situation in my life so far.
Which, by the way, the Wachowski sisters fucking hate how Andrew and all these people have co-opted like the Red Pill and Matrix and all these different things. Like, it's fucking wild.
In my 21.
It is such a common thing for like conservatives to just not understand and misuse the messages of entertainment and media, and they have terrible media literacy. I mean, they'll look at someone like that Patrick Bateman character from American Psycho, or I'm sure they look at the Joker and the guy from Taxi Driver, and Brad Pitt's character. What's his name? The guy in Fight Club. I can't remember his. It's like John Derman or something. I don't remember. But they'll look at these characters and they'll be like, "That's the guy I want to be." When these are like cautionary tales, and you're not supposed to like want to be these characters. It's fucking wild. It really is.
Years where I really wanted something and didn't get it.
He had found an arena where controversial personalities thrive.
I had to manipulate a lot of people to win.
But something happened when Andrew was on Big Brother, one of the biggest reality TV shows of all time.
This is Big Brother. Due to events in the outside world, Andrew has had to leave the Big...
By the way, I don't want to, I guess, throw shade at like every reality person ever, but generally speaking, there's a type of people that tend to be on reality shows, and they tend to be pretty self-absorbed, not the best people. So, just in general, yeah.
Brother house.
He was reportedly removed from the program when a
It is funny though how many of them have this setup, where it's like here's all these people on a couch, in front of the like host or whoever's like explaining shit, and this person has to leave. I've only really gotten into a few reality shows, those being Are You the One, Too Hot to Handle. I watched like the first season of Love Is Blind and didn't really care for it. Those are pretty much it. There's a few others I'm gonna check out. I guess I like more of the kind of like the ones that are geared more toward like dating and stuff. Go figure. But yeah. I don't really know what Big Brother is, to be honest. I thought you were like assigned some kind of like kid to look after or something, but given this setup here, I wouldn't think that at all.
He was reportedly removed from the program when a video surfaced of him slapping his ex-girlfriend and then
I think I can show this. I don't see why I couldn't.
beating her with a belt.
Yeah, they're not really showing it too well here, so this should be all right.
The word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Did I say it?
Public outrage simmered down after Andrew released a video of his ex, claiming it was all part of a so-called kinky game.
It was just pure game.
No, it's not. That is not... I feel so bad for this girl. Oh my god, that is not... Alright. As a very sex-positive person and somebody who actually knows about kink and stuff like that, there is something known in the kink community as consensual non-consent. It's also referred to as like, rape play and things like that, shortened to CNC. There are times where couples will partake in that, and you generally have you have safe words and things like that. And the whole thing is that you're basically acting out this scenario in order to achieve a fantasy. Now, with any kind of kink roleplay or any, especially CNC, but any of this stuff, you of course want to make sure you have aftercare and stuff involved. Really, I would say have aftercare involved with any kind of sex, especially if it's any kind of rough or anything like that. But that video right there, that ain't it. That's not kinky. That's not fun. That is him actually being abusive. There is no way, and he's gonna have. I think they said her name was Paige, but it doesn't say. But we have. I think they said her name was Paige, but they're gonna have her on in a minute, and she's gonna say, "Oh, it was all a game. It was all fun." No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
It's just what we used to do.
But what the public didn't know, and what we can now reveal, is that around the time that Andrew was playing Truth or Dare in the Big Brother pool...
Seriously, what does this have to do with, like, I have no idea what Big Brother is, clearly.
The UK police.
All right, I'm sorry, I have to find this out real quick. What is Big Brother? What is Big Brother about? Okay, I have to. Big Brother follows a group of people living together in a house, yada yada yada. But what do they do? What is the concept behind Big Brother? It's essentially a competition between the housemates, the object of which is the last remaining housemate in the house. At least one housemate will leave the house every. But what do they? How do they? Okay. So it's one of those. Okay, what? Okay. All right, whatever.
Had informed the production company that he was under investigation for 2 incidents involving other women, one of rape and a further of physical assault. In May 2021, Tate made reference to his arrest in an appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I was like, who are you? And they're like, you're under arrest for a suspicion of assault of this dumb hoe. And I'm like,
wait, this is dumb hoe? Jesus fucking Christ. Even, oh, yo, he's actually so fucking, god damn. Like, fucking, not this woman, not this person, this dumb hoe. Like, fucking, come on, dude. I could listen to Tate's, yeah, you can read.
I'm gonna protect
No. I could listen to Tate's stories all day long without getting bored. Protect that man at all costs. God damn. By the way, I don't think I've covered anything from Fresh and Fit yet, but Fresh and Fit, they're like the worst. I will say, and here's the thing, all of these people, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Fresh and Fit, all these people, there is like a modicum of truth and good advice that they actually give, which is why their content works. You know, the best lie has some semblance of truth to it. So it would be incorrect to say that like everything they say is wrong or bad or anything, because it's not true. If it was, then they wouldn't have any recognition, any kind of popularity. There's a modicum of truth to the majority of bullshit that they perpetuate.
Anonymity, because I'm a nice guy. Dumb hoe.
During this same period, the Tate brothers were recruiting women for a webcam sex business and creating the first of their many online courses teaching other men how to do the same.
Okay, real quick, I will definitely have videos on this in the future too. Nothing wrong with sex work, completely, sex work positive. Nothing wrong with OnlyFans, nothing wrong with porn stars, nothing wrong with fucking strippers, escorts, anything. Like, that's all well and fine. The thing is, what Andrew did to manipulate these people, and he'll go into it, he had this thing called the lover boy method, where essentially he would get these women to, as he puts it, to fall in love with him, and then he was teaching other men to do this, where basically you would take women and have them run like an OnlyFans or something. I don't think it was OnlyFans. It was probably like ChatterBait or something like that. There are tons of these that exist. If you watch any of those kind of videos these days, you're probably bombarded with those, all the fucking what's it called, Jerkmate, all the Jerkmate things. Which every time I see those fucking ads, the way they say it, they're like, it's free to subscribe or whatever. It always makes me think of those things. Like it sounds to me where they're going to be like, it's fun and free and fun for the whole family. And I'm just like, no, that's not right. But that's always the vibe that it has. But anyway, there are a bunch of different like webcamming sites that exist that women can do. And again, nothing wrong with women doing that. But what these people would do is, and Andrew was like teaching other men to do this. He would take these women and he would take these women and he would teach them, he would take these women and he would like make them, again, as he puts it, fall in love with him, and he would convince them to do these OnlyFans things, or whatever, OnlyFans shorthand, some kind of webcamming. and they would do that, make the money, and give all the money to him. Andrew is not a pickup artist. Andrew is not a men's self-help guru. Andrew is not some relationship expert or dating guru or any of this shit. Andrew is a pimp. That is what Andrew is. That is his entire brand. He is a pimp. It's why he dresses the way he does. It's why he acts the way he does. And his entire method and way of working with women in that way is not working with women to get laid, to build relationships, to do anything that could be mutually beneficial. His whole point, for him, the relationship, the sex, all of that is part of the process, and the main goal he has is making the money by having the women do these webcamming things, where, by the way, he would like message these lonely dudes that are chatting to this woman. He'd like message them like on the side. And these women, sometimes they'll even just hit up like random people. I was hit up a while ago, and a friend of mine was like shortly after, where this person hit me up and then hit him up, where she started talking like a normal person, and for all I know, it wasn't even her I was talking to. But she hit me up on Facebook of all things, and she started, she sent me a friend request. I accepted. We started talking for a little bit. And she seemed really cool and everything at first. And then she starts being like, hey, why don't you check out my webcam show? And I'm like, I mean, I'd rather just kind of like, talk to you or whatever. She's like, okay, we don't have to do a show. Why don't we just like do a video call? And so like, I'm like, okay, we're doing a video call. And then the video call was like, she was immediately jumping into like sexual stuff, and not like talking to me, but like she had like a camera set up and she was doing some kind of like webcam thing. I didn't know what was going on. I just bailed, I was like, nah, like this isn't what I signed up for. Like, I don't know if you're trying to like, I don't know, get me to like expose myself and like extort me with like nudes or some like, I don't know what you're doing, but like, I'm not for this. And then she hits up my friend and tries doing the same thing with him. And so people will do this kind of thing, and you got to be wary of that kind of stuff, because like, for all I know, it was a fucking, now that I know what I do now, for all I know, it was like a fucking Tate operation or something. I don't know. People will use women or just images of women where they will use them to try and fleece men from like a bunch of money and different stuff like that. And that's Andrew's whole thing. He's this guy who doesn't like women, doesn't like sex, doesn't like men, doesn't the way he made his money was by fleecing a ton of men for getting them to buy into, giving money to what they thought was, hot women, when in actuality, he was just taking it from them anyway. And this is the guy that's like the relationship expert now all of a sudden. Like, really? This is your guy? It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
I am her everything. It doesn't matter if I fuck someone else, because I'm her everything. She has nowhere else to go.
It was called the Tate PhD.
Yeah, and just to be clear on this, by the way, we're gonna go through this for a minute, actually. But just to be clear on this, the notion of like, oh, I'm your everything, she's my everything, he's my everything, they're my whatever, right? Like that like romantic notion of like they're my everything. That's like kind of cute and sweet and stuff. That's not what Andrew's talking about here. He's talking about where he's like really controlling and manipulating these women, and like you said, they have nowhere else to go. This isn't like they are choosing to stay with him because they've fallen in love or anything. It's yeah. But let's go through this. Pete, does he actually talk about it?
Or pimping hose degree.
She was a fucking hoe.
Oh, PhD, pimping hose, wonderful.
It was
okay. So let's go through this here. I don't know if I'm covering up any of it, so I shouldn't be. Whatever. Okay. What exactly do you get with the PhD program? Hours of video content where I will teach you how to text women, how to build your social medias to pick up women, best first dates to bring women on, best follow-up dates, how to approach women, the framework that all male-female interactions are based on, how to test to see if a woman is high quality, my opening lines, how to get women in bed, the critical mistakes most men make, How to stay on her mind without interaction, and why this all works so well. Okay. In and of themselves, none of this is bad. In and of themselves, yes, it is good to know how to text and communicate with women in general. It is good to have social medias built up in general, and it really just kind of like social status in general, because that's generally attractive to women. It's good to know what kind of examples of good first dates. It's good to know what to do for follow-up dates and how to approach. It's very good to know how you want to approach, how you want to open. All these different things. Right? These are good things to know. Framework that all male-female interactions are based on. Super vague, but also could be good to know. How to test to see if a woman is high quality. Also good to know. Men and women, people in general, test others all the time through a multitude of different ways. Yes, you do want to see if she's high quality. What you define as high quality generally is going to differ from person to person. For me, it's somebody who is, at the end of the day, it's high compatibility and high chemistry. Like that's ultimately what it comes down to. Compatibility and chemistry. And yeah, the whole time you're dating, like you are testing that. Like that's the whole point. Opening lines kind of goes with approaching. How to get women in bed. Yes, it's good to know how to escalate and how to build tension and how to all that stuff. Critical mistakes most men make. That can be good to know, similar to the framework thing. How to stay on her mind without interaction. Yeah, it's good to know in general how to get your partner to the point where they're just like, really it's falling in love. Because if you've ever been in the situation, I know I have many times, where I've been with a partner and like just every little thing makes me think of her, that kind of thing. Yeah, like that's just being in love. You're gonna always be on their mind, always be on your mind, that kind of thing. That's sweet. Now, keep in mind, the way that he does this stuff is the problem. All of this stuff in and of itself, good stuff. Why all this works so well, right? That's fine. But the way he goes about this and the reasons for why to make her stay on your mind, why to get her in bed, all these different stuff, like it's to pimp them, as he says, pimping hoes degree. That's where it's wrong. That's where it's bad.
Called the Tate PhD, or pimping hose degree.
She was a fucking hoe.
Yeah, so the quality bed and stand. Yeah, exactly.
And I spotted it instantly because she didn't humble herself when she was supposed to. And I'm glad I didn't waste any more time on her, because she's never going to be doing like my other girls do, living in my house, letting me fuck other women, remaining loyal, and fucking bringing me coffees and doing as I say.
Once again, if you want an open relationship, that's fine. If you have that, as long as everything's consensual and agreed upon, like whatever, that's fine. Good for you.
Andrew has closed down the pimping hose degree to focus on the Hustlers University.
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
Wait, was that him with hair?
But
Luke, your screen's
down the pimping hose degree.
Why is his hair? I wonder if Tristan dyes his hair, or if he's younger. Because like Andrew has super gray hair. I wonder if did it fall out? Did he shave it? The Andrew Tate lore, it's wild.
Focus on the Hustlers University.
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
But with a historic rape allegation in the UK, and the Romanian police now looking into him for rape and human trafficking, I want to find out more about his methods of recruiting women.
I like this dude's drip, by the way, the Vice guy.
Did you at one point say that the girls who started as your girlfriends and then worked for the webcam industry, 100% of the profit goes to you?
I think in a lot of households in the world today, the man is in charge of the investments. I think that's not an uncommon thing. Tell me a view I have that you think is genuine.
Oh, I take it back. I don't like those shoes. That's me though. That's his. Sorry, I said I like his drips. Okay, I like his rings. I'll put it that way. I take it back. I take back the rest.
Genuinely insulting or destructive to society. I'd like to hear it.
You prefer younger women who are 18 or 19 because you can leave an imprint on them?
No, when I say leave an imprint, I mean that. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that like if I get her, I can brainwash her. I'm not trying to say that. If you meet a girl who's 22 and you're her second boyfriend, she's probably like a nicer person, less jaded, less upset, less suspicious.
So you like to be in a position of power?
It's not being in a position of power. It's about, I enjoy to show her amazing things. You're trying to attach things to the situation which aren't true.
5 years ago, you said rape is a terrible thing, but if you put yourself in a position to be raped, then you should bear some responsibility for that.
Okay, so first, we agree that rape is a terrible thing. Point I'm trying to make is the best way to prevent yourself from being raped is to have a degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in positions to be raped, as opposed to standing there saying that rape shouldn't happen because, or men, raise our boys better. You know what else shouldn't happen? Robbery. I want the freedom to walk down the road with $1 million in cash.
Is it fair to compare the desire to walk around with £1 million in cash to someone wanting to just walk around their own city at night?
Well, female beauty is extremely valuable.
Yeah, well, the thing about that is, okay. So there was, I talked before about the show. She's Gotta Have It. Fucking really like the show. So there is an episode in which, basically, in the first episode, the character goes through, what is her name? I can't remember her name right now. Nora. Nora goes, it is Nora, right? Hang on a minute. I have to, it is Nola? Is it Nola? No, Nola Darling. Okay. So Nola gets assaulted. Well, not like assaulted in the way that, you know, what they were just talking about, not rape, but she gets catcalled and then the dude grabs her wrist and hurts her and shit. Anyway, she does this whole thing where eventually she goes and sees a therapist and all that good stuff, and they talk with her about the reality that even if she were, and I love this message, even if she were to cover up, I'm trying to find a good picture of this, even if she were to cover up completely and nothing but her eyes were showing, she would still be, you know, objectified by those that she, you know, doesn't want to view her in that way, we'll say, you know, different stuff like that, right? And she decides to take power into her own hands, basically kind of reclaim her own beauty, her own sexuality, her own body, and gets this really nice, I'm trying to find a good close-up picture of it, I apologize here, but, and I can't show from Netflix because they're dicks. Whatever, we're going to go with this one. She gets this really nice dress, and throughout the entire series, and the funny thing is, like, this is my favorite episode because throughout the entire series, there is this entire moment where, like, she goes on a date with this one dude who, she's got 3 guys that she's constantly, like, you know, entering or going between and all that stuff, right? But she goes on this date with this guy where she wears the dress, he tries to cover her up, and then he starts, you know, hitting on her, trying to be like, oh, hey, I actually like that black dress. He's like, oh, now you like it, you know, and he's like, hey, you know, maybe if you didn't want the attention, shouldn't be wearing a dress like that. And so she's like, wait, so you're saying it's my fault that I was, you know, assaulted? It's like, no, I'm not saying that. And of course, you know, she gets mad, rightfully so. Anyway, so there's all this, like, slut-shaming done throughout the episode in regards to this dress. And the idea is essentially that she's asking for it. She goes on a date with another guy who basically says the same kind of thing. And just real quick on this, so, like, the first guy, is this a better image, actually? I guess it is. Well, it's a little bit lighter, but I don't know, is it closer up? I don't know, whatever. So, we're gonna go with the second one I have. So, anyway, on the date with this guy, there's even a moment where she says, or he says, you know, he's basically, like, giving her shit for wearing the dress, and she's wearing this, wait, why do I have, okay. She's wearing this hot dress for him on this date, not, you know, and my thing on this, just real quick, is that if your date or whatever is wearing a hot, you know, a hot dress like this, if they're dressing sexy and you're with them and all that, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Compliment them on it. Sure, you know, all you need to do is say something like, you know, damn, that dress looks great on you. You know, you look really hot in that. Something like that, right? That's it. All you need to do is say something, something like that. You don't need to be like all protective, because what he does is he tries to like cover her up at the place that they're at and all these different things. And I'm just like, just fucking enjoy it, you know. I have a thing. I think I've talked about this before. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely talk about it again later. Where basically I very much approve of what I call slut praising, and I'm very anti-slut shaming. So like, if a woman is going to dress sexy, if she's going to be sexy, if she's going to be slutty, which when I use the word slutty, I just mean somebody who is like sexually free and outgoing and not, you know, the opposite of a prude, essentially. And if you know, it's so counterintuitive, people that do slut shame, because each of the people, and it shows it even in this episode, I got so mad at the guys watching this, because with the guys that she goes on these dates with, both this guy and the other guy that she goes out with for this, his name's Mars, they both have the option to hook up with her if they just didn't give her shit for the dress. And that's what I don't understand about slut shaming. It is so counterproductive. Like, if you want women to be free and fun and be into like dirty, fun, sexy things with you and be likely to hook up with you or other people, which I know that's where it comes from, the insecurity of how dare she hooks up with other people. You know, all this different stuff. If you want her to be fun and free and like adventurous in bed and all that stuff, and you want it to be easier in the dating market in general, fucking encourage women to be sluts. Again, when I say that, I mean, you know, encourage it. Don't fucking shame women. It does not, it blows my mind. It's so counterintuitive, so counterproductive. It blows my mind. But I just wanted to talk about that. Slut shaming is cringe. Slut praising over slut shaming.
Of course, female beauty is extremely valuable in the eyes of men who seek to exploit it.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women.
See, what the fuck? Like right there, but I'm done. If I was someone who was like looking for advice on how to get good with women and shit, and I found this guy, let me hear what he has to say, and I hear this.
To exploit it.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women.
Oh shit. He's gonna be terrible to listen to. All right, let me see who else I can find, you know. You know, I wouldn't, like, who hears that and they're like, yep, that's who I want to teach me about women. Like, what? All right.
I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
Have you heard the term lover boy before?
That's my point right there. I want to be perfectly clear. Hooking up, casual relationships, all that stuff, perfectly fine. Open relationships, polyamory, whatever you want to do, as long as you're safe, sane, and consensual with yourself and the people that you're with, fine. Like, that's whatever. But if you're going to hook up with women, you might want to do it with people that you actually like. And I don't mean necessarily you have to get on with her on a personal level and, oh, we're so connected. No, I don't. I just mean like you enjoy her and you like her at least on some level. Even if you don't get along, like, you know, on a personal level, you at least think, oh, well, she's still hot and I still want to hook up with her. We still have a sexual connection, a chemistry. You know, we're still flirting, we're still having a good time, all that stuff. If you want to do that, by all means. But this notion of like, I have sex with them to get what I want, which is money, why the fuck am I listening to you? Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would anybody think, yeah, this is the guy to listen to who's going to give good advice on how to pick up women? This is the guy. Like, fucking, yeah. Ugh.
The lover boy method?
Yeah, romantically involving yourself with a woman and then making money off of her in some sort of sex-adjacent industry.
Firstly, I would call the webcam industry far closer to psychology than sex. The webcam industry has prevented more male suicide than any group of therapists, any action group, any charity ever would, right?
Is that true? How can you measure that?
Well, it's not about measuring, it's about my personal experience.
One of the concerns that people have about that method is that
let me correct you, because I'm a professional.
Is that it's similar to, or people might consider that a form of grooming.
Okay, so I'm a professional, so I have to change what you just said. I have to at least challenge you on it. Nobody's concerned about anything that happened 10 years ago when a bunch of girls got rich. There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Andrew says no woman has complained about him personally. He won't let us speak to the women who work for him, so for now it's difficult to verify this claim.
Never a good sign. Just like how I hate, if you ever see a video on YouTube or just any post on anything online and the comments are turned off, not a good sign. Now, granted, comments are turned off on this video. That's granted in that regard, that's because this is super controversial and I can understand why they would do it. But generally speaking, anything that's going to be giving any kind of advice or things like that, comments being turned off, not a good sign. Someone telling you about this kind of shit and then you not being allowed to talk to the people they work with, not a good sign. If you go into a business, if you go into a company and they won't let you speak to their employees, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
But I have spoken to many women who complain about the effect Andrew's rhetoric is having on their lives. To protect them from harassment, I've agreed not to name them.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate to the point of threatening to release revenge porn unless I took back what I said on social media against his sexist, misogynistic views.
It's like a virus, the things that he's spreading. The scariest thing is, I have no idea if the next guy I meet could be an Andrew Tate fan.
As a teacher, it's definitely worrisome. There are boys who look up to him, especially those that are maybe vulnerable and they're sort of going to go into the real world carrying those violent views with them.
I'm 14. The boys at school my age think that it's okay to say horrible things like women are men's property and they get to do what they want with them. It makes me really disappointed in my generation.
Andrew's views represent a new era in modern misogyny,
Start talking to some bitches, saying me and my man are gonna fuck you.
where you can now not only talk openly about subjugating and objectifying women, but doing so actually garners
He's serious about that sword thing. That's wild.
millions of committed fans.
They don't believe the level that you can operate at when you're actually a G.
The most hardcore of them have traveled here to Romania to join the War Room.
Holy fucking $4,497. I'm telling you, this is where the money is. Oh my fucking God.
The War Room is a fraternity. We're a brotherhood which is designed to inspire the best from our brothers. They have to have the mentality and the pedigree to survive. There's tests, and if you do them, you can stay inside.
At the top of Andrew's fraternity is a small group of wealthy and powerful men who all stand to gain significantly from the expansion of his empire. This inner circle is not happy that I'm here. After our test,
it's not a cult though.
The exchange this morning, Andrew invites me to watch him train.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But it turns out he's planning on teaching me a lesson.
Who's got spare gloves? There you go.
I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Punch me. Come on. Punch me. Knock out. Oh, look like you're bleeding already. It's only round one. We've only warmed up. Keep them on, bro. We've got 10 more rounds.
No, I can wait.
I meet and get punched in the face by the inner circle of the War Room. In the world Andrew is creating, not only are women to be subjugated,
Sorry, that almost felt like I got knocked out.
but men defined by their capacity to inflict violence.
Okay. Tap out.
You stopped. You were like, all right, pause, time out. Like if that were having a street fight, would someone stop? No, so that's your reaction. I need to fight back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's training. When you're training, you do like a little at a time and like ramp up and get better. You don't like, oh, this is a real fight. Like what? Yeah, but it's not a real fight. This is like what?
The War Room is a network. We have 10 meetings a year. The next one's going to be in the mountains of Transylvania.
You could do it, but
I don't know, my friend, if you're prepared.
We've left Bucharest and we're driving into the Carpathian Mountains to meet Andrew and his inner circle for the War Room, which is going to involve something called the Test.
I've made it into Andrew Tate's War Room, where 100 of his biggest fans have flown in from all across the world, each paying $5,000 to have their manhood tested by the one they refer to as Commander.
I'm telling you, this is the guy. He just looks so much better. He looks so much more like he's the guy that's like, I would think that he would be the front man and he would be the guy behind the scenes. Like, it's just...
Commander. None of us know what he has in store.
I welcome you all to the Test. There is a cage fighting event, and every single one of you has been paired against a professional fighter. You will fight in the cage on national television, and it's a real fight. There are two paths you can go down. You can agree to fight, or you can decide that it's not for you. You have 1 hour to think and make a decision.
I'm wondering if I should grab my shades and just wear them while I go over this video.
That's going to be a hard no.
Oh, Matt said no.
Maybe I'll do a yes, just to learn a little bit more of what happens, and then definitely pull out at some point.
Does anyone have any questions to ask me? There's no training before this fight. If you've been walking through life too lazy to fucking train, is that your problem or my problem?
Look at this guy. You think he can take... this guy in a fight? Wait, I don't know if you can see. My thing might be covered. You think this guy can take this guy? Like, really? Fucking hell.
I couldn't help overhearing some disagreement within the War Room.
I think he wants to talk to you, wink, wink. What the hell are you doing? What's
It's gonna be fine, bro.
No, it's not. You're gonna get people killed.
We have an ambulance, we have medics. No one get fucking knocked out. Don't worry about it.
At the center of it all was Andrew's right-hand man, Iggy Semmelweis.
Here I will share with you my secrets.
He's the self-proclaimed greatest hypnotist in the world.
You will learn the power of hypnosis.
And seemed to have an agenda that expanded beyond the War Room itself into something larger and darker.
Your sons will marry their daughters. Your daughters will marry their sons. You will create legacies. Enjoying those juicy steaks, that finer scotch, those smoother cigars.
He refused to speak to us, but it's clear that he has a big role to play in whatever the War Room's real agenda is.
This is the War Room.
I'm telling you, man, this is like... it's just consumer bullshit. Aesthetic masculinity. It's they're posers. Like it's fucking... oh, what's manly? Fast cars, being surrounded by hot women, smoking cigars, fighting. Like, I mean, if you're into those things, fine. But like, they're posers.
Welcome to the Test.
Now is decision time. You are getting in the cage to fight a professional fighter who is trained to hurt you. Anyone who is fighting, please stand.
Oh, so they don't get to have special training, but the guys they're going to go up against have been trained. What is this shit?
Up. Anyone who is not fighting, you can stay seated, and we will begin the other program.
Just like that, a third of the room decides to get beaten up for Andrew Tate.
What happens to the people who said no?
They're doing something slightly different, describing the reasons they didn't do it, how that affects their life as a whole, whether they're going to make any changes in the future to be more ready for opportunities. That's where honor comes from, right? From victory.
One of the men who said no agrees to speak to us as long as we hide his face.
Why did you say no?
I have been in the ring before, but just sparring. But I was like, fuck, professionals and Russians, like they guys are serious. I was just too scared. So then afterwards, I felt bad about myself, and I was angry at myself. Because he came here to be tested.
Andrew Tate has obviously said a lot of kind of controversial things online.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
A lot of things are very controversial, but I think the bottom of his message is a very, very positive one. Because if I'm not tough on myself, Nobody else will be. Nobody really cares about me if I don't care about me, right? That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
People who decided this morning and people who decided at a later date here, please.
We have a chaperone following us. We've been told that we're not allowed to talk to anyone. What about in passing, asking people like, what single question?
Let me run this by tape before we film. No other comment.
Okay, all right. Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Our chaperone vets who we speak to.
I do want to say, by the way, the message of like, you're not ready, you need to get yourself together kind of thing, that's not a bad message. But like, again, it's just, this is the problem, right? There's like a kernel of truth in the rhetoric that Andrew uses. That's why it's a problem. Because like, yeah, a lot of it is lies, but there's like that little bit of truth here and there that makes it attractive isn't the right word, but you know, makes people want to listen and be like, oh yeah, he's spitting, you know.
And tries to heavily control our questions.
What do you do?
Show that you're not some sort of right-wing extremist for this.
Why did you join the war?
I don't want to be fucking stagnant. I need to grow. It's just a fundamental shift in my mindset. What I think could be bad is always good. Before the war room, I used to think, why is this happening to me? Now, what is this trying to like teach me?
About Andrew Tate specifically and the things he says online, the things that get him negative publicity. What do you think about those things?
I think he's speaking the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interviewing under the chaperone's supervision is proving restrictive.
Yeah?
No alpha craziness. He's an animal, this one.
So we can't speak to anyone?
Okay.
Who is this mysterious chaperone anyway?
Hey man.
Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man.
I was wondering if we could have a little chat.
Yeah? Suits me, man. Brought over from Dubai.
Like most war room leaders, he has a sports car.
Do you want to do the interview in here?
Not a Bugatti though. This is a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not, man.
And like most people with a sports car, he's keen to show it off.
So, what do they call you?
In these circles, sartorial or the sartorial shooter. I'm one of the guys who manages...
What does sartorial mean? Relating to tailoring clothes or style of dress. So it just means it's because like... Okay, so what? It's just because like he's got good drip? Is that it? Fair enough.
Organizational risk and security for the war room. So anyone with any criminal activity, maybe they are showing signs of being racist or sexist or any of these sorts of things, they're out straight away. We will not tolerate that.
And so how do you reconcile that with some of the things that Andrew, for example, says online?
Any claims of misogyny or the fact that he's, spreading hateful words, that's not the reality of who he is, and that's not what the war room stands for, and that's not what he stands for. There are many clips of him out there saying, I'm not a misogynist, I provide for my women, I would stand up for my women in a violent situation.
What do you think his detractors would say about, for example, what you just said, the phrase, my woman? Do you think that they would consider that to be misogynist?
The phrase, my woman, for me ties into the very traditional values that we have.
Andrew's well known for...
Well, I will say, like, if you're saying like my woman or my woman and you mean like, your girlfriend or your partners or something, it's the same thing as saying like my friends, my family, my, anything like that. So I don't think that's inherently bad either.
Talking a lot about his multiple girlfriends. How does that tie into this idea of a traditional relationship?
Men at certain levels can provide for multiple women. I mean, even we can go back 100 years ago, kings, wealthy men, they would support multiple families. How is that a bad thing? It's only very recently that men and women have been competing in pretty much in masculine realms, in work, in career. Not that long ago, and indeed in many cultures around the world, women still have the traditional gender norms. And we believe in the war room, that's what leads to happiness.
So part of the issue I have with the way that Andrew handles, and Fresh and Fit do this too, this idea of having multiple partners is basically, it's okay when men do it, but it's not okay when women do it. My view, like I said, as long as everything's safe, sane, consensual, adults, all that good stuff, like, whatever. You want to have one partner, you want to have multiple partners, as long as everyone's consenting adults, by all means. But none of this bullshit where like, oh, it's okay for men to do it. Like, if you're in a committed monogamous relationship, it's horrible when anyone cheats. If you're not in a committed relationship, it's okay if the guy sleeps around, it's okay if the woman sleeps around. If you're single, it's okay if the guy sleeps around, it's okay if the woman sleeps around. It's okay, it's fine. Like, chill.
Than a career.
But that's not the message that Andrew pushed, of course.
Or like you have, your own agency in the world to pursue your own goals.
The women who I know who are most fulfilled in life are not trying to do the things that traditionally men used to do.
What about a situation where, this has just popped into my head, where I want my girlfriend, who I love, to be a kept woman, but she doesn't, she wants to pursue a career or something like that?
Then find a different woman. Very simple.
Okay, actually, oh god, these fucking people. This is what I'm saying, there's like a kernel of truth to this shit. Okay. Yes, if you and your partner want different things out of life, if you want a different type of partner than what your partner is, then yes. If you want a girlfriend who is a specific way and the person you're dating is not that specific way, and you can't compromise on that, which of course relationships are about compromise, at least to an extent, then yeah, you would need to find a different relationship partner. But yeah, I can't disagree with that. Same thing for the, if it's a woman with a man or any gender with any gender person, if you and your partner are, uncompatible, or you're wanting too different of things out of life, or in order for one of you to be happy or both of you to be happy, you would need the other person to change, or they would need you to change, then you're not a good fit for each other. So, yeah.
The core belief driving the war room, and what men here are seeking, is a misogynist fantasy of a time when they were kings and women were subjugated. It's at the heart of what Andrew Tate is selling. Just look at the tweets of Iggy Semmelweis, his second in command. My webcam girl is home 100% of the time, has no time nor interest in going out. She sleeps, cooks, cleans, does her shows, gives me all the money, gets railed by me and our girlfriends, then smiles, thanks me, and goes and does it again tomorrow. Welcome to the war room.
That's not a girlfriend. That's not a partner. That's not a person. That's how can people look at this and say this is good dating advice? This is good, this is how to treat women. This is like, bro, if you just want a fleshlight, you can buy them online. You can buy them at local sex stores. Like, fucking shit, man.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Now, it's quite possible this next story has passed some of you by, but you would be in a minority.
As the war room members and I are bussed to the fight location, the world begins to talk about Andrew Tate with a new intensity.
He is a 35-year-old influencer who's been accused of spreading...
Oh, I was close. I said he's like 36. He's 35.
Rape
openly
culture.
condones and celebrates violence against women.
Hitting women. Kids are acting like the things that he's saying is like revolutionary.
11-year-old boys, they love
Please
Andrew
stop
Tate.
looking up to Andrew Tate. He is a bad guy.
With the PR crisis going on, Andrew's team are eager for some good press, so they send an extra friendly chaperone to sell me on the benefits of the war room experience.
Alright, do we think it's going to be a man or a woman? It's okay. It's either going to be, I have two guesses here. It's either going to be a hot woman who is going to act like super nice and like, oh, there is no more in Ba Sing Se. Or it's going to be some other dude who's like, yeah, man, like everything's totally cool. This is all good. Don't worry about it.
I'm Alpha Wolf.
Okay.
My role is to...
Alright, that I was not expecting. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm Alpha Wolf. Like, you meet someone in real life. Hey man, what's your name? I'm Alpha Wolf. Christian, nice to meet you.
To be Alpha Wolf.
Okay, fair enough.
Life is all about how you deal with the pain and how you move forward. You're going to learn a lot about yourself as a man, so take it, make the best out of it, and grow as a man and be tough.
All of the men in this room seem to be taking this incredibly seriously.
What's your goal for the fight?
Of course I'm going to try to.
I mean, to be fair, they are about to fight someone who's actually trained, and they might get really hurt from the fight. So, yeah, you probably should take it seriously.
I see a lot of contenders right there who had the guts to come right here in the cage. If any one of them win one fight, is gonna win all their money, all their girls.
This is the culmination of Andrew Tate's pressure cooker of male insecurity.
You're a fucking broke. You are poor. I'm the only guy on this fucking platform flying around in private jets with 27 cars living this lifestyle. Most of you are not too stupid to become rich.
Are you ready? Round one.
But while they come forward to gratefully take the beatings they've paid thousands of dollars for,
you're here to lose a little bit of blood.
Andrew Tate's future on
Okay, look at this shit. Okay, we have to.
You're here to lose a little bit of blood.
She does this woman here doesn't even look like happy. Wait, does Andrew?
Andrew Tate.
I mean, okay, neither of them look happy at all. But I don't know, man. Whenever I experience anything with somebody else, I want them to enjoy the time that we're having together, and I want them to enjoy what we're doing together. Otherwise, why the fuck am I doing it with them? I don't know. This is maybe this is just a small little clip, and it's not a big deal because maybe they're both just oh, he lost the fight. Maybe it's that kind of thing. I don't know, but I don't know. I get the vibe that this woman is just very disinterested, and wouldn't blame her. I do really wonder what this is, though. I guess it's her purse. Yeah, it's probably her purse.
Future on social media.
Okay, hold up.
You're here to lose a little bit of blood.
Andrew Tate's future on.
Okay, Andrew Tate is This is okay. Matt XIV. Oh, that would be Matt the 6th? Or no, I'm sorry, the 14th. Yeah. Andrew Tate is teaching young boys to be violent misogynists. It's time for social media platforms to do so. True.
Social media.
Andrew Tate is an influencer and former kickboxer whose violently misogynistic homophobic videos have propelled him to global fame among young men and boys. He's said that women are men's property and that rape victims should bear some responsibility for their attacks. Last month, he was Googled more than Donald Trump and Kardashian combined.
Is hanging in the balance, and the public backlash is spreading. I'm desperate to ask him about all of this, but first I have to get through this ridiculous situation that I've found myself in.
All right, let's go.
Give it up for Matt. Did I say it right?
I'm very excited for it. Now, as soon as the bell goes, Matt has passed the test. I know he's going to lose, but wow, he's actually in there. Let's go, Matty! Come on, Matt! Hands up. Combat starts.
Whatever's going on behind the scenes, watching me get chased around puts a smile on Andrew's face.
Takes his get stripped to the ground. And there's going to be a ground and pound finish. But that is it. The referee calls it. Hold on, man. The good decision. He was unable to defend himself. I hated these guys when they turned up. I almost punched Matt myself when he was in my house. You know what? He's officially won me over. I can't believe he actually got in there.
Those who went all in on their fight came out badly. One man was knocked out and taken away on a stretcher.
Who could have seen that coming?
The inner circle had put these men through collective hardship and recreated them in Andrew Tate's image. Fighters.
Come here, guys. Come up to the front. He broke his hand on your head. And you're fine. So you win.
But they had also joined a movement that was widely accused of normalizing sexism and rape culture. While the men who chose to fight are paraded in front of the crowd, Andrew's team shamed those who refused.
The shame hold on to it. Don't let it go.
So anyone who fought, you can put your hand up. how the experience was, how it's going to change your life, and if you have anything to say to the people who didn't fight.
I don't think I have any word of advice for the people that didn't do it, except that you should have probably.
Immediately, he went to check on me, and I'm thinking, I want to go train because I felt inadequate, right? So that's what I want to do.
Right now, I have new mountains to climb, and I'd love to get back here a year from now and go to the gym of the guy who beat the shit out of me.
Didn't it feel like a movie the last few days? And I feel like that's a great metaphor for life. You know, we shouldn't be slaves, we shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs. We should actually make our lives into, I guess, a movie.
I want to be known as one of the best fathers in the war room. I can't look at my sons and tell them to suck it up, Buttercup, if I don't say yes to this.
Well, suck it up, Buttercup is not... All right, I don't have kids. I never want to have kids, but I just want to say, if you have a child and they're crying to you, if they're having some issue, your response as a parent should not be, suck it up, Buttercup. That's how life is. Tough shit. That is not, like, what that child needs in that instance is empathy, understanding, and yes, a little bit of toughness and resilience instilled into them to be able to press on, but along with reassurance and kindness and a gentle, like, you're gonna do all right, like, get back up, I'll help you get through this kind of thing, not tough shit, son. Like, no, come on.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether or not they fought, all the men here paid $5,000 to the only real winner in this performance, Andrew Tate.
For the people who want to stay and relax, there's some chicks, don't know where they're from. Yeah, let's have fun. I hope you all enjoyed it.
We're told.
The only thing I can think that's insinuating is prostitution, which, again, fully on board with, generally speaking. Sex work is work, all that good stuff. But, yeah, I never mind. I don't know where I was going with this. Just, yeah, there's some chicks, I don't know where they're from, like, come on, dude. Like, just gross.
Told not to film the celebrations that conclude the evening, and it's not clear exactly.
They all had a giant orgy. No, they all just jerked off Andrew Tate.
What goes on. But once outside the lobby, we could clearly see a room containing naked women being photographed.
Being photographed? Why not just fuck them? Like, isn't that the point? No, because Andrew doesn't actually like sex. Well, what was it, to take photos of them and sell them and make money off them more? Like, is that the...
With Andrew's team increasingly conscious of negative publicity, tonight could be the last chance to interview him. Do you consider the possibility that some of the things that you've said, which have been viewed 11 billion times, may lead to an attitude towards women that could be harmful?
I accept that across all of that viewership, I have perhaps, possibly, maybe said one thing, or maybe two, that has upset a large range of people.
Wouldn't it make sense to just apologize for some of the things you've said, acknowledge that they have caused harm, and say that you won't say those things again?
No, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to apologize for the edits of other people. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstandings of other people. There's a whole bunch of clips people are making which make me look very bad. That's not good for my life. That's not good for business.
The clips that portray you in a negative light also help the algorithm to make you become more famous and more viral.
I'm not an expert on algorithms for social media platforms. I do not have most of them installed on my phone. I cannot control what a 15-year-old Singaporean decides to do when he chops me up and calls me names. I can't control that, and I wouldn't try to.
There has been a lot of bad press about you. That's made some nervousness within members of the war, and why is that?
Well, obviously, when people are going to continue to lie and continue to do very, very shallow very, very fictitious investigations, people are going to lose faith in you. The media has lost all credibility because you do not try and portray the truth anymore.
One thing that stands in the way of truth, for example, is when we often do documentaries, we have full access to speak to anyone we want. No, but in this documentary, we've been very closely watched by the sartorial shooter at Alpha Wolf, picking who we can speak to, you know, monitoring the interview. What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
These questions are so low.
This is low. It's low. We let you in. We tried to take care of you, and you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
It's a consistent leading question, a consistent narrative. Where's the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave.
How TikTok bombards young men with misogynistic videos.
In the days afterwards, Tate is banned from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, to the protest of his fans.
They have shut us down. This is warfare.
Wait, hold up. Was that women?
It's the West.
Fans.
Really?
They have
How did they get women cheering this?
Shut up.
Unless it was like a joke kind of thing.
Us down. This is warfare against the West.
For a moment, it seems the deplatforming has worked. But then, he reappears on Instagram with an emoji covering his face.
You're lost. You understand you're living inside of a mechanism which is designed to control you, but you don't.
He moves to Dubai, converts to Islam, sets up a new bank entirely owned by him, and rebrands the Hustlers University as the real world. In the first
Not a cult. Not at all.
month after being deplatformed, he made $11 million and got 250 million views on TikTok alone. Months later, Elon Musk reinstates his Twitter account and he gains 1 million followers in 24 hours.
I have no criminal charges. There's no charges at all against me. I have not hurt any women. No women are coming forward saying Andrew hit me. Zero.
So, I don't know if we're getting to this point yet, but I've seen segments of this video before, and trigger warning for some really serious talk of I'll just say sexual assault coming up.
Andrew maintains that he has never abused a woman. But when we get back from Romania, we finally manage to speak to some women from his past. Amelia began seeing Andrew in 2013. Due to fear of harassment from his fans, she is withholding her real name.
I always knew, even from back in the day, there was always things said bad about him. But when I'd seen him again in 2013, I thought, oh, all these rumours about him may be false because he's actually been really lovely. The first time I went around his house, because before it was like maybe 3-4 times we got on dates, we started to make out on the bed. Out of the blue, he literally just stopped what he was doing and just laid back. He said, I'm just contemplating whether I should rape you or not.
You're not a good move. Not a good move. Not part of the escalation process. Not at all.
And I promise you, within an instant, he changed. He just jumped straight on top of me, grabbed my throat, started suffocating me, strangling me. The more I didn't want to, it made him so much more aggressive to the point where he was pinning me down, hurting me. The things he was saying to me, he was like, who do you belong to? Who do you belong to? And the more I couldn't say it, the more he'd hurt me. So I couldn't see an escape. And at that point, I just gave up. I just gave up.
Okay. This makes me really fucking angry. I talk a lot about a lot of things. But you know, recently I've gotten into a little more and do want to talk more about dating and specific steps for men, and a lot of them I think can be applied to women as well and people in general. One of the important things is this concept of escalation and consent and all these different things. I also talk about how I, myself, very much enjoy sex and very much have a very high sex drive as well. I'm also, I don't know if I'd say it's emotion drive. I always say I'm very sexually and emotionally driven, which is true. That's why, like, a romantic relationship is, like, perfect to me. You got, like, the two there. It's amazing. But, I'm trying to add a little levity after what we had just gone through, because after what we just listened to, because how do I even... Okay. There is nothing fun, sexy, flirtatious, anything about that experience that woman just explained. What she explained is a situation where at first it seemed like things were naturally heating up. Andrew was escalating and they were getting to the point where they were going to actually have sex. And then he says, I'm debating on raping you, and then just goes for it. That is actual rape. Now, choking, if it's consensual, is fine. Rough sex, if it's consensual, is fine. The owning concept, like your partner telling you that they belong to you, can get a little graphic here, but dirty talk like, whose are you, or whose pussy is this? I'm yours, it's your pussy, that kind of stuff. That is perfectly fine in consensual and regular sex and all that good stuff. That is not what this was. This was not a moment of having this fun kind of, kinky, rough, playful sex and flirting and all this, like, and being dominant and all these different things. This was, by all accounts, what that woman just described. That is rape. And it fucking disgusts me. There's no excuse for that. That behavior, what he did, according to her records there, that was completely unacceptable. There is no way that you can justify that you can spin that, and you can say, well, even if he did do that, it's okay because, it's just some kinky fun. Like, no. That's not what that was. It was fucking disgusting is what that was.
And then when it stopped, he went to the bathroom and acted as if it was normal. So I'm like, maybe I did. Did I want it? Did I not? I definitely said to him, please don't, and he told me, shut the fuck up. Definitely got strangled. I definitely didn't want it. Did he think I wanted it? When you look back, the psychological warfare you have with yourself is like you couldn't even imagine. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand it unless you've been through it. Can't even say the damn words.
Have you since come to terms with the notion that that may not have been consensual, that may have been...
I know for a fact it wasn't consensual.
But it's hard to use the word.
Even though I know technically it's true, that did happen, that is what happened to me, I still don't like vocalizing it.
Amelia...
Jesus fucking Christ. Telling you. I think the reason a lot of men want to give people like him, or even Andrew Callahan's recent situation, as I've also discussed, people want to give these men the benefit of the doubt is because they want to think, oh, this is just, women being playful. This is being hard to get. This is a misunderstanding, that kind of thing, right? No, this man has flat out said he doesn't even like women. He doesn't even like having sex with them. What the fuck is he doing? Like, he's not even enjoying, he's not, people that actually like women and like sex with women, or like men and like sex with men, or like anybody and like sex with them, like the person, at least to an extent, at least enough to respect them and understand that, for one, if it's not consensual, if they're not having a good time, you're not having a good time. These are not the kind of people to listen to for this kind of advice. It's diabolical. It's evil. It's horrendous. I can't imagine being with somebody. You've been on a few dates, you want to hook up with them, and then you just assault them. You could have... And that's how you know it's not about sex. Because they were already going to have sex. She was going to have completely regular consensual sex with him. And he raped her. Because it's not about sex. It's not about attraction. It's not about desire. It's about power. It's about fulfilling some sick fantasy. It's about control. And it's not about, like, again, the sexy, fun, you belong to me kind of thing. It's not about the, like, dom sub kind of relationship. It's not what this is. And I think a lot of people look at this stuff and they try to justify it and say, oh, well, it's this, it's that, it's that. No, it's none of that. This isn't some fun, kinky thing. This isn't... It's a crime is what it is. It's a fucking...
Elia's method of coping with the alleged rapes was to pretend to herself that it was a normal relationship.
The abuse wasn't consensual because...
Denial. One of the stages of grief.
He knew I didn't want it, which he confirms in multiple voice messages and texts to me.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. And all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now.
Every few months, Andrew would...
The more you liked it... No, the more you hated it, the more I liked it. Maybe it's just me, but this is the absolute opposite of how I am. In my last serious relationship, I had dated somebody where we knew we were going to break up. We were getting ready to break up. And we decided to have, not makeup, but breakup sex. One last time. And I could tell she wasn't enjoying herself, and I wasn't either. So we stopped. Because how the fuck could you continue? You're having this moment where you're supposed to be having this type of connection with somebody, even if it's not some deep, emotional, romantic thing. It doesn't have to be. In one way or another, sex is still having a connection with somebody. even if it's just for a night, it's still a connection. And if they're not enjoying themselves, how the fuck can you enjoy yourself? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's so completely antithetical to, I guess, just how I operate at my core. I don't know. It's so. I don't know.
Would send me on a different number, messages to remind me of how dangerous he was.
I thought,
like all good boyfriends do,
remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
This guy speaks like a fucking mafia boss, by the way. Oh, it's a nice place. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. Like, come on. I'm just calling to remind you how dangerous I am. Fuck off. Fucking goddamn.
Scare tactics to make sure I wouldn't go anywhere, go to the police, wouldn't.
That's exactly what it was.
Report would always be under his control. It was always to remind me that he was there.
After 6 months, Amelia eventually left Andrew when she says she began to fear for her own life. In 2014, she also decided to report the incident to police, who logged it.
A year after, I got a phone call from a police officer from Hertfordshire Police. She said to me, "We have 2 other girls that have come forward and said the exact same thing as you. Would you please be willing to come onto this investigation to make this case stronger?" And without any hesitation, I said yes. And I thought, well, if there's 2 other girls, I'm not alone now. I'm not alone.
One of those women was Sally. She was 20 when Andrew Tate approached her for webcam work. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is also withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled. And
there's a tact. This is a emotional abuse tactic. Is it like, yeah, hot and cold emotional abuse. What is internment reinforcement? Is hot and cold behavior. Hot and cold behavior does not always indicate abuse, but it can indicate someone who has been subjected. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Basically, it's this idea where, like, 1 minute you can be, like, really sweet and loving and kind, and then the next you're like,
and we ended up having sex, and I was really, really drunk.
Look at this. She's fucking crying, and her tears are running down her neck. Oh my god.
That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night I would work.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, "Oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." That's kind of when I knew, you know, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview, and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update, I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The decision to prosecute based on the police's evidence would be up to the Crown Prosecution Service.
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, "Oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence."
You witnessed the rape occurring. Did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove rape. Very difficult.
The Crown Prosecution Service said in this case we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complainant and concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported rapes result in a charge, let alone a conviction.
This motherfucker left to go to Romania because, and he said, because it was more corrupt, you could get away with more, and especially the laws in general were more lax, and he could get away with trafficking and shit easier. Yet he was getting away with it just fine in Europe, in England, sorry, in the UK.
In a statement issued via his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied the assault or rape. He said, "They wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me." Sally said the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave.
Okay, I want to address the skepticism that some people may be having watching this. First of all, I want to explain real quick the difference between choking and strangling, because when you choke for pleasure, you want to put the pressure on the sides of the neck of the person that you're choking. You do not strangle, like you don't like affect the trachea. That's gonna fucking be really, really bad. And on that note, you don't do it without consent. Should be obvious, but clearly it needs to be said. That was just in my mind ever since the choking thing came up. But more than that, oh, fuck, there was something that was just said that made me think of it. Oh, right. The skepticism of this stuff being valid. I've talked before about, trust but verify, don't believe, well, not don't believe, but take with a grain of salt, especially random Twitter users who just pop up and are like, hey, such and such happened with this person, like, because you don't know them, but if someone comes out and like really shows their face and all that shit, more than likely they're probably telling the truth because they're risking a whole lot more. But at the same time, somebody that goes and does this kind of thing in a documentary style, anonymously, what do you think they have to gain from doing this? Absolutely nothing. You think they wanted to just waste some time? No. I absolutely believe these women, especially. Andrew Tate's a fucking monster.
Gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk.
they clearly didn't think a text.
What do you get from me hating it? Because I'm a terrible person, Mr. Fucking Nice Guy? Mr. Fucking Nice, yeah. And I love... He fucking said it! And I love raping you and watching you let me, while still debating if it's a good idea or not. I like the conflict you have, and you do have it. Don't deny it. Makes you feel powerful? No.
From a man to a woman saying, I love raping you.
Wait, well, no, but it... Wait.
A text from a man to a woman saying, I love raping you. They clearly didn't...
Fuck. I want to know what that says at the bottom.
A text from a man to a woman saying, I love raping you.
Damn it. Alright, whatever. I don't think so. Well, you can say it, then not see me. Andrew, you're not stupid. Why would I talk to you if I didn't want to see you? So you agree to my rape, control, and all I do to you? Good. If I consent, it's not rape. No, but it's still controlling and something.
I know what I do to you is abusive and controlling. To CPS, apparently, that's not enough. I did the bravest thing I think I ever done in my life.
Probably, yeah.
Which was hell, 4 years of absolute hell, going through an investigation without anyone knowing, and basically to do it alone. Was all a waste.
Despite repeated requests, Tate's lawyer did not provide a response to Amelia's allegations.
I would argue, in this kind of instance, I would say what we're seeing happening now and the public turning on him and the... what is this called? This documentary and all this stuff. I hope that it can genuinely give some catharsis and some level of what you did was not for nothing. I hope that that woman, for example, can have some sense of something eventually did come out of this because you spoke up, because you shared your story. Time for the main event.
The Romanian investigation into Andrew Tate and his brother finally led to an arrest on the 29th of December.
The Matrix has attacked me.
Police accused them of using the Loverboy method to traffic at least 6 women into a Romania-based webcam sex business.
It's so weird, too, that they say, like, oh, they accused him. He fucking said it on multiple different platforms and videos that you can find here on YouTube, on TikTok, on anything.
But we now know similar allegations have dogged Tate for years. His followers are obsessed with the idea that the Matrix is conspiring against him. But if anyone in this story is the victim of a conspiracy, is it the multi-millionaire celebrity? Or is it the women who claim they were abandoned by the system?
You know, you see all these young men talking about how he's such a great guy and he's their idol and stuff, and that's so difficult to see. There are better role models out there. Don't be fooled by all the money and the nice cars and all the women. Working on yourself and becoming a better man and better mindset, yeah, but real men don't lay their hands on women.
True. Work on yourself, become better, do what you need to level yourself up in life. Get better. A lot of these things are skills. You know, get better at dating, get better at attracting, get better at sex, get better at like all these different things. Get better at relationships. Get better at like all of this. Yes. But yeah, no, you do not fucking attack women or fucking anybody. message after this, so I want to see what that is.
I'm Michael Learmonth, editor-in-chief of Vice News. Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of those living through global conflicts. Not Vice News. Our reporters are on the ground, fearlessly covering the human stories that shape our world. You and millions of others can continue to read, watch, and listen to Vice News for free. But we hope you'll consider making a one-time or ongoing contribution of...
Oh, this is just okay. I get it. I'm gonna subscribe to them? Really? Oh, shit. Oh, I am now. Oh my god. Andrew Tate is not your guy. He is not your guy for self-improvement advice. He is not your guy for advice with dating, getting laid, having any kind of relationship with anybody. How to get rich. He's not your guy for anything. He is a monster. He is a horrible, horrible person who has adopted the aesthetics of a lot of things that are culturally associated with masculinity. But it's all a facade. The podcast that he did with the Vice guy, Matt, that was a facade. He doesn't even like the women that he hooks up with. He doesn't enjoy seemingly anything about his life. But he does enjoy control. That's why he doesn't like consensual sex. Where's the control in that? That's no fun to him. He doesn't want a partner. He's not going to teach you or help you with getting a partner. He's not interested in that. He's interested in control. He's not interested in a mutually beneficial relationship, even if it is just for one night. He's interested in the control, in the status. He even said his philosophy. All men are trying to get status for other men. That's why they want the fast car, the nice cars. That's why they want the hot women. Couldn't possibly be because they actually enjoy nice cars and hot women. No, not at all. All of these things that you may naturally, understandably want in life for yourself and or others, to him are just a means to an end. Meaningless. And all he does is use you and women and everybody else and hurts everyone in the process. He's not some hero alpha male to look up to. He's not some god with women or money or anything. He's a sad, pathetic, egotistical loser who's made a fortune off of exploitation, being a man-child, and now running a cult. You can't tell me that world that Matt entered with the boxing thing and everything else, you can't tell me that isn't set up like a cult. You can't tell me that his followers are not behaving like they're in a cult. And the damage that he's done to women specifically, both personally and because of his rhetoric that many disaffected young men have picked up on, is the cherry on top of it all. He's not your guy. He's not going to help you get where you want in life. All he's doing is all he's ever done. Taking advantage of the women, the vulnerable women he can use, and the vulnerable men who will buy into his bullshit. I know that this is a heavy topic for some. It's funny in some ways to clown on him. It's thoughtful to discuss some of the finer points and the broader aspects. But I realized, especially toward the end there, dealing with the sexual assault situations and the trafficking and all that, it got pretty dark pretty quick. I understand that. So I ask, please take care of each other out there in the comments, on social media in general, in the real world in general. And I think that many of us need to do what we can to combat the dangers of Tate and people like him. And you need to do what you can to educate yourself and not fall victim to his rhetoric. As always, these are my thoughts. Please let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. Leave a like if you like, and if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.